Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Football Manager 2018 with Zebu Nation. This is our Loser to Legend series with the Bully Wee Clyde FC, and today we have for you the Season 4 Preseason Spectacular. That's right, I decided not to quit Football Manager forever, and I've come back for Season 4 with Clyde FC. We're going to keep climbing this mountain. But this season, we're getting serious. No more messing around. And I'll show you why in a minute. But the first thing I'm going to show you is the Ladbrokes League 2 preseason. We are predicted first place in the league. So with that in mind, there's no more messing around. We can't, we can't go into the playoffs and be successful. We can't, try to sneak our way in. We've got to be the best team in the league right from the start. So that's what I'm looking for this season, is to be number one in Ladbrokes League 2. No more messing around. Let's go. So let's take a look real quick at the preseason schedule. How have we done so far? It's been not a great preseason, if I'm going to be honest with you, but we've played a pretty heavy schedule. We've played, a lot of high-profile type preseason matches, to gain some finances and things like that, and it's worked for us pretty well financially. Hasn't worked so well on the scoreboard, but we have showed ourselves pretty well here. Like we only lost to Rangers 2-0. It was a pretty competitive game all the way through. We played in the Betford Cup, and we were incredibly competitive in the Betford Cup. Look at our... where did our group go? I don't know. We'll go back to the schedule. We lost our first game to Elgin City on penalties. That's one we should have won. We were up 1-0 for most of the match. And then they came back, tied it up, and then won on penalties. And then against Hearts, a pretty good team, a team that's in the Premiership. They had us on the ropes 1-0 for most of the game, and then we came back, tied it up, lost on penalties. Then we played St. Johnston, another Premiership team, and we beat them 1-1, again on penalties. So just all these penalty games, and then finally we met our match versus Inverness. This was basically for the second place in the group, and maybe possibly even advancing on to the next round, although probably not, because we would have only had, I think, 6 points, and that probably wouldn't have been enough as a second place team to advance on. But still, we held our own. We played them very, very well. Lost 3-2. But it was very good. It was very back and forth. We'll show some goals just to get a little bit of the highlights going. Get some blood pumping through our veins here. This is, I'm recording a little bit late at night. But here we are. Here's Cudahy getting it to one of our new signees. There's Barry to Montgomery. Montgomery's got a lot of space. Plays it forward to another one of our new players, Hendry. He gets the goal. And here's Donaldson, Jones, here's Inverness on the attack. 37 minutes down, so it's not at the end of the half, but it is in the middle of the half. And then look at that, McDade wide open, beats the goalkeeper. So, 1-1 at the end of the half. And then here we are getting it forward to Peters, another one of our new signees. We got new signees all over the place. Finlayson, fullback, sends it into Peters. 2-1 going into halftime. That's pretty exciting, but wait, there's still a minute left in overtime, in extra time, I should say. Toshney out wide, just a crazy cross, and then Doran ties it up. First half. So first half ends 2-2, and you're thinking, maybe we could pull the upset, maybe we could get them to penalties, but here we are, 82nd minute, Inverness on the counterattack. Everybody rushing forward, and they finish us off in regular time. But as you can see with this play here, we're sticking with some pretty big competition. I mean, The Premiership is three levels above us. So, if we can stick with them, we should be able to play pretty well against League 2 competition. And we'll run down the checklist here real quick before we get into today's games in the IRN-BRU Cup versus the Rangers. Or, not the Rangers, Rangers under 20s. So we lost only 2-0 to the main team of the Rangers. Maybe we can beat the under 20s and pull off another IRN-BRU upset. That would be nice. All right, so let's go through the under 20s. Let's go through the checklist and get this preseason spectacular rolling. Under 20s, not much has changed. We got some guys down there right now getting match fitness. But basically, we've signed everybody of any value up to the main team just to get them some training, some full-time contracts, things like that. So the youth team right now is pretty barren if we didn't have all these players down here. Finances, we're looking pretty good right now, $54,000. As you can see at the beginning of the preseason, we were negative pretty high. We were, almost 100,000 in the hole, but our little preseason strategy of playing against some pretty high quality teams has, it's paid off. It's gotten us some pretty good amount of funds. We got a little bit of prize money, and looking good. We're in the positive, and that's going to be very important going forward, because if you look on the right hand side, the board has either been incredibly generous or incredibly crazy, because they have doubled our payroll, almost doubled. We're up to $520,000 payroll. The board is not messing around. I said it was time to stop messing around, and the board has come through with a gigantic payroll, $500,000. So I've actually struggled to spend this money. There's just not enough high-quality players out there who want to come and play at Clyde. Even if we overpay them, most of them just don't even want to talk to us. So the fact that we've been able to spend $381,000 this season, I think is pretty good. But basically, what everybody has agreed, what the board has agreed, what I've agreed to, is that we want to win the league, and in order to do that, we need a slightly higher caliber of player, and in order to do that, we have to pay them. So we've got the payroll to do it. We got the budget to do it. Now it's all about bringing in the right players. Speaking of the board, job security, we are secure at 57%, but they're going to expect a lot of things from us this season. They're going to expect us to get promoted. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, there's going to be a lot of pressure this season, and we're going to have to do it. Anything else going on of interest with the board? Not that I can remember. So let's move on to the club. Pretty much the same as we have been. 1-star reputation. Not yet on the favored personnel list. I don't know what we got to do. Probably get promoted. But anyway, McKinley is up there now. Cudahy and Miller are three team leaders are up there now, favored personnel, so they're going to be moving on and might one day become icons of the Bully Wee. Let's see, no facility news. I asked the board to build a new stadium just kind of as a flyer, and they said, no, we're not going to do that. We don't have big enough fans anyway. So we're going to go now to the transfers. You can see we still have 138,000 payroll available. We've looked at some players. Oh, yes, there was one thing we needed to look at from the club. We have a new affiliate. St. Mirren of the Championship has signed up to be... The board just came to us and said, hey, St. Mirren is our new affiliate. They're going to send us loan players. We don't have to play them, and they can be recalled from St. Mirren whenever they want. But if they need to drop some players down to play with us, they will. We're going to annually host... a friendly and get to keep the funds, so that's cool. St. Mirren will also pay us an annual fee of $12,440 pounds. So, any little bit helps with the finances, that's fine. And playing in the same division will terminate the link. So if we get promoted a couple of divisions, we'll no longer be their affiliate, which makes sense. All right. Transfers. That's why we got these two fellas here, McAllister and Ferguson. We're going to bring them in. Right now, we're not going to bring them in on loan right away. We're going to try to bring them in on trial and see if we even want them. But they haven't sent us anybody, so I went to them and said, picked out a couple of guys, see what they have to offer. So let's take a look at the transfer history. First of all, the outgoing players. If you watched last season, you knew that Zubaidi, the GOAT of last season's playoffs. I don't know, it's sort of a mixture between him and Curry as to who the GOAT was, but I blamed it on Zubaidi. Maybe that was unfair, but he was on his way out anyway. He got a very nice contract from Lejong, getting $25K. You can't blame him for taking that. So, good luck to you, Mr. Zubaidi. He played well for us for a couple of seasons. There's no doubt about that. We can take a look at his stats real quick. We shouldn't have any hard feelings against him. He played 32 games and 24 games for us. Had a goal and 3 assists. He was a solid player for us, so no hard feelings, but just to go out with that as your last opinion of the guy is pretty bad. Dylan King, who also played well for us last year, went to the Cove Rangers, and that's fine for him. We've replaced him many-fold, so there's no problems there. And then we lost Ramsey and Higgins. Ramsey was a winger, center midfielder who just never got enough playing time with us, and Higgins, an 18-year-old goalkeeper who wasn't going to make our lineup anyway, so get out of here. See you later. And now for our biggest transfer haul that we've done, and as you can see, they were all free. There was at one point I had an agreement for $650 transfer fee, which would have been the biggest transfer fee ever in Ladbrokes League 2. But somehow it got canceled. I don't know if the board canceled it or whatever. I had $700 in the transfer fee, so I was going to try to use that. But then suddenly that transfer disappeared and the money disappeared. So I don't know if they just took the money and ran and didn't give me a player. I don't know. But whatever happened, it's not showing up on this list. So here we go. Let's run down this list. We got Frankie Devine was our first signing. 23-year-old Scotsman. Center mid, can play defensive mid a little bit. He's a guy who's just sort of pretty good, just there for depth. He's got some good composure, work rate. His physicals are, not terrible. He doesn't have any terrible physicals, but they're not great. Nothing really sticks out from this guy other than he's pretty average all the way around. 2.5-star guy. He's just sort of there as depth in the midfield. Ross Cameron, 22-year-old striker. Yes, another striker. Yes, another guy who looks pretty much like all the other guys I've signed. But hey, one of these times they're going to get hot and they're going to pay off. 13 finishing, 8 composure, 12 leadership, 13 off the ball, only 11 pace, 13 acceleration. He does have some pretty good potential, though, 3.5-star potential. But he's 22 years old, so he'd have to be starting right away, and he's not going to do that. So again, he's just another guy for depth at striker. Then we brought in Stuart Morrison, central defender. This is a guy, let me look at his stats. We re-signed him from last season. He kind of left for like a half second in the offseason, and then we re-signed him back. So he's going to be back with us. He was injured for much of the end of last season, so he didn't play a lot with us, but he's got, 3-star potential. He's 22 years old. He's going to play a lot for us. 10 jumping reach, 11 strength, 10 heading, 9 marking, 11 tackling, 11 positioning. So not the greatest guy in the world, but for this level, he's pretty solid. Then one of our big signings on the defensive side, Kessie, let me see if I can pronounce this name, Omolokan. We're going to use that. He's a much higher quality central defender than we've had in a while. 11 jumping reach, fitness, pace. He's got some decision-making, positioning, marking at 13, heading at 12. So hopefully this guy can get in there and get some headers for us on the back line and in set pieces. And we can use this guy to score for us. 22-year-old Englishman, so he's, foreigner, quote-unquote. Probably not considered a foreigner, but, we're all about Scottish pride here. Anyway, next up, Callum Hendry, the guy you saw score the goal in that highlight. 3-star, he's got 4-star potential, another 22-year-old. He's a defensive forward, so he gives us a little bit of versatility up there on the front line. And man, this guy's mental stats are really good. Aggression, bravery, determination, teamwork, out of sight, 17. Work rate, 17. Tackling, 11. It's going down for some reason. But a defensive forward with 11 tackling and 17 work rate. We're hoping this guy just causes all kinds of problems, just causes havoc out there and scores some goals for us, or at least can set up some of our other players for scoring goals. So we spent a little bit of money on this guy. 13.75 is what he's going to be getting from us this season. So we overpaid for him a little bit, but with these mental attributes and his work rate, I just got good feelings about what Hendry's going to be able to do if he can stay healthy, of course. Saw him get injured there in that previous game as well. Up next, Stephen Smith, left fullback. He can also play a little bit of center defense. He can play a little bit of defensive mid. He can play a little bit of right back. So he's a very versatile dude. You know, something we haven't had on that back line recently is somebody who can play all over the back line. So he's pretty average, but he's got 14 pace, 9 jumping reach. Isn't great, but it's pretty good for a fullback. He's got bravery, decisions, positioning, so he can play that center defense a little bit. Marking 8, tackling 7, only 6 heading, not great. But, you know, he's a guy who can give us, again, versatility and somebody who we can have in our reserves. He's a rotational player, so he's somebody we can have in our reserves, and he can play all over the place for us should we need that depth. All right. Josh Peters, one of our biggest signings of the season, a 4-star striker. This guy is pretty good again. Also, pretty good mental attributes. Key among them is 16 composure. This is a guy who's going to score goals for us, because if you watched last season, our 2 strikers were the top 2 in the league for getting shots on goal, because we always play the ball into the box and we always get them really good shots. But they just couldn't finish at the rate we need them to finish. But this guy with 16 composure, he's going to be finishing a lot of shots for us. And he also has pretty good physical stats, so he can hold his own in the box. The only thing he doesn't really have is acceleration, so he's not a great poacher. But he can play that advanced forward role for us, go get the ball, and score in front of the goal. And that's what we need Josh Peters, 23-year-old Scotsman, to do. So he's one of our biggest signings. Then we went out and got Kieran Murtaugh, another center mid. And he's a guy who really goes against what we try to do. I just got this guy because he was available. He wanted to come to play for us. 3-star player. He's got a lot of experience. 31 years old, from Antigua and Barbuda, which are 2 islands. Never mind. They joined together because they're so small. Recently, they basically got wiped out by a hurricane. Like, everything on the island was basically smashed. It's like Puerto Rico, but with 5% of the population. So they're having a lot of trouble there. So, you know, maybe, I don't know what anybody could do about that. But anyway, thoughts and prayers for Antigua and Barbuda. But anyway, this guy, 6'2", he's strong. He's got good jumping reach. He can play a lot of different places, even as far back as defensive mid or center defense should we need him. He can even play a little bit of advanced playmaker should we require it. But he's just another versatile guy, a veteran guy. He's going to be getting a lot of playing time for us. Probably, you know, going to replace Miller a little bit. But, you know, I've yet to decide where he's going to play right off the bat. Then we've got Ryan Mullen, free transfer, goalkeeper, 19 years old, 2.5 stars, 3.5 star potential. So he's a pretty decent young goalkeeper. We don't necessarily need him, but Manson was injured earlier in the preseason, so we needed a third goalkeeper. And our other goalkeeper, our young academy player, he got poached, so we had to bring in another guy. And Ryan Mullen is that guy. He's okay. Nothing wrong with him. He's just sort of Joe average at the moment. Then finally, our biggest signing of the season, our biggest need right here, Mark Finlayson, 22-year-old Scottish 4-star player, 4.5-star potential. He's the guy that everybody, when we signed him, said, like, ooh, that's a big signing. You know, he's taking a step down and all that stuff. You know, the questions you always get from the press whenever you sign a guy like this. They're like, oh, did he take a step back or whatever? But you look at this guy, really great physicals. He plays right fullback. He's going to be playing right fullback for us, but he can play some central defense. He can even play a little left side if, you know, absolutely necessary. But we had a big hole at right back because, of course, we lost Zubaidi, but also our other fullback, what's his name? Duffy was injured. He suffered a horrific injury at the end of last season, so he was out for like 5 months. So coming into this preseason, he was still injured for the whole preseason, and we were playing. Breslin was playing at fullback mostly. We were playing, you know, one of our young academy players as well, 18-year-old. So we needed somebody. If we're going to go after winning the league, we can't be having a bunch of 18-year-olds running around, especially at a position as important as fullback. So we paid a lot of money for Finlayson, $31,500. Overpaid for him. We promised him the moon, and you know we're going to have to deliver because you know my job might depend on it. I don't know. They might give me some slack because we've performed so well up until this season, but you never know. Football is a rough sport. They'll throw you out the door in a moment's notice. But as you can see, very good physicals, not great mentals, but good enough, and pretty decent technicals, 10 crossing, 10 heading, 8 tackling, 7 marking. So what's really good about this guy are his physicals. So hopefully getting more playing time, being a full-time starter, a key player, as you can see here, hopefully that'll improve his mentals and technicals along the way. So there you go, a busy transfer window and transfer history. All right. Scouting, competitions, went over that schedule. Medical center right now, we've had a really packed schedule, so we got some guys who are a little bit susceptible on the injury list. Of course, Duffy, who is unfit at the moment. Steven Smith is also injured, one of our new signees, so he's not going to be playing. Dallas and Montgomery are just coming off of injuries, so we're going to be a little bit delicate with those guys. Staff, no changes in the staff. Everybody got re-signed. The general manager re-signed everybody. Dynamics, even with all the new signees, our match cohesion is average, so that's good. Our locker room atmosphere is also good, going down a little bit, but you know, it'll raise pretty soon. We have a wide range of ages now that we have a 31-year-old on the team. I think he's probably holding it back. But as you can see, our recent form is probably what's bringing down the locker room atmosphere. It's draw, loss. Very good leadership support, as always. Hierarchy, look at this. We got 2 team leaders now, Cudahy and Miller. No highly influential players. But, you know, we're looking pretty good supporting us. We have 19 players support us. 9 don't. Our new 9 signees don't quite support us just yet, but everybody else on the team does. Even look at the social groups. With all these new players, only 2 players, Cameron and Murtaugh, which I love that last name because that's the last name Danny Glover's character in Lethal Weapon was Murtaugh. And it's the only other time I've ever seen that name is in Lethal Weapon. So welcome to the club, Murtaugh. He's too old for this stuff. You know it. All right, happiness. Everybody is green, super green. All right. So that's it. Preseason Spectacular in the books. Let's get to it. Match preview versus Rangers under 20s. Team selection. We're going with the diamond formation, of course. We got a lot of our new signees in there. So let's go. Submit this team. Would you like to submit? Yes. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention. We have gone through Brexit. So there is now a registration that we have to go through. We can only have 17 international players. So golly gee, what will we ever do that we can only sign 17? But we can also only have a 25-man registered squad. So that's a bit of a cramp of our style. However, anybody 21 and under is automatically registered. So that's okay. That's fine. We got a lot of under 21 guys. So we don't have to worry about it this year. In the coming seasons, though, as these guys age, it's going to be a problem. But right now, it's not that much of a problem. So look at this. We got people with real faces on here. How about this? So, in goal, of course, Curry, Stewart, and Finlayson, our new guy. On the fullback positions. Steve Morrison, or is it Scott Morrison? Stuart Morrison. 3 strikes and you're out. Stuart Morrison and Omolokan at the central defense. We're going to have to get used to that pairing. Midfield, Cudahy, Murtaugh, and Barry. And then up front, Montgomery and our 2 new strikers, Hedry and Peters. Right now, Peters is our highest average player and our top goal scorer. 3 goals in the cup competitions and a 7.3 rating, even against that high level of competitions we were playing. So Peters is going to be a key man for us this season. Now, McKinley is not too happy about it. Let's give the fans a good performance. But, you know, he's going to live with it. He's a rotational player, even though he's an assistant captain. We got a nice full crowd here on the away stadiums here for the Rangers under 20s. I guess they put a lot of stake into this old IRN-BRU Cup. Anyway, here's our first highlight. There's Murtaugh sending things forward. This is just the opening highlight. So I want to get a feel for this under 20s club, see how they look, see if we should be playing. Right now I think we're playing counterattack against them. No, we're just playing standard and disciplined. Get stuck in. I don't know that we need that. We'll take that off. Murtaugh with a long shot. Highlights. We're on key highlights. We got to change that. Extended highlights. I want to take a look at these guys. It's hard to take a look when you're just showing the key highlights. Well, look at that. We're dominating right now. 4 shots on goal, 1 on target. They've got 2 fouls against us. We got 57% of the possession right now. And here we go. Throw in far side Finlayson to Montgomery. Back to Finlayson. He centers it. Peters to Hendry. Oh, just high. Hopefully those 2 strikers work well together. Hopefully they can, generate the offense and cause the chaos and disruption that we're used to. I mean, if not, we still got McKinley coming off the bench, who he's a 3.5-star player. We didn't need to go out and get all these strikers, but of course, I got a problem when it comes to signing strikers. It's just, I'm addicted to signing strikers, but. We're now pretty injury-proof at the striker position, knock on wood, of course. And if somebody's not performing, we can take him out and bring somebody in who's proven that he can do it. Here are the under-20s now. Curry with a nice save there. It is, of course, raining. Of course, as it always is in August or July or whatever this is, raining and cold. Is there no summer in Scotland? I mean, I know it's fairly north, but it's got to be some summer. I think there was like one day of like 75 degrees on our schedule, and the rest of it was still 60s and cold. Curry with another great save. He's keeping us in the match right now. 2 really nice saves. The under 20s from Rangers are putting some pressure on us. Here's a header into the box. Murtaugh, though, gets rid of it, and there we go. There ends the threat. Here we are. Free kick. Miller's not in there, so Hendry takes it. McPake, the defense, sends it out. Peters, can he get a hold of it? He does. Shot on target. Goalkeeper is able to usher it aside there. Hill recovers it, and there ends our highlight. 30 minutes down in the first half. It's looking pretty even. Yeah, ratings are all pretty even. Omolokan not playing too well at central defense right now, 6.5 rating. But I think he has a habit to just blast it forward, so that could be a little bit of his ratings problem right there. 6.4 rating. Don't like that. Their central defense, on the other hand, 7.1. Here's Montgomery now with the free kick. Drops it back to Peters. Peters has scored on a long shot already. Cudahy. Oh, just wide. I think Peters has already scored the goal of the season. He just had a monstrous, thunderous shot off a free kick. Not off a free kick. Yeah, it was off a free kick. It got centered to him, and then he just blasted it from outside the semicircle, like right around here. Just bang, right in the left upper corner. It's an outstanding goal. Probably be the goal of the season, so we'll see that at the end of the season. 2 minutes of stoppage time now left in the half. And are we going to be heading for another draw and another penalty shootout in the cup competition? Hopefully not, because we really have horrendous penalty takers. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, Peters is pretty good at 11. He is by far our best player. And then I think we have another guy with 9, and everybody else is, less than that. Even we got some guys with 1. All right, dressing room. Do we have any analysis to look at? No. Pep talk. Tell the boys, let's see. We've been the better team out there. Just keep going. No, they didn't like that. All right. Tactically, do we want to do anything tactically? I think we've been all right. I haven't seen anything that's made me want to change what we're doing. Maybe loosen up a little bit. Get rid of discipline. And let the guys play with a little bit more free flow. Probably don't have to be so disciplined against these youngsters. We'll see. Alright, first highlight of the half. Let's see if we can control things a little better this half. I don't like this. Nice tackle there from Omolokan. They're going to get a throw in out of it, but no highlight. So we're going to roll on. 48 minutes and counting. Just going back and forth. Look at that. We got 11 shots on goal. 3 shots on target. So we're definitely dominating this game. 55% possession. Playing really well. Just not scoring. Waiting for the next highlight. Let's go. Montgomery with a shot that's saved. That's 12 shots now, but not apparently worth a highlight. I did change the highlights, yes. Extended, correct. Let's go. Waiting for the next highlight. We're getting to the 60-minute point. Morrison's got a yellow card. Omolokan still sitting at the 6.4 rating. Finlayson making up for it, though, with a 7.0 rating. Just nothing. Nothing's going on here. I mean, well, I guess we'll just let them play it out. Last season, at the end of last season, I started resisting the urge to make changes. And that helped. It helped our players, I think. It helped them get into the flow, the rhythm of the game, understand what they were supposed to be doing. Just, be steady, be consistent, and the results will come. Now, this team is a little less familiar with each other than we were last team. Oh, there we go. Yellow card for McLaughlin. Here we go. Murtaugh, quick kick. Sends it in the box. No good. But Stewart is there. What's he going to do? Gets it forward to Barry. Barry to Peters. Wow, Peters plays it all the way back to Finlayson. Forward to Stewart. Why are Finlayson and Stewart on the same side of the pitch? I do not know. They're two different fullbacks. Here's Peters. Plays it out wide to Stewart on the left-hand side. He takes a shot. Okay, boys, let's get resettled here. I know I told you to stop being disciplined, but that's ridiculous. Here's Stewart with a free kick to Hedry, down to Morrison. How did he not shoot that or score that or anything that? He just sort of tapped it to the defense. All right. So what are we going to do? We're going to move Omolokan there. We're going to bring in Breslin on the right-hand side. We know he can play central defense just fine. Get that yellow card out of there. Where's Miller? Oh, Miller is suspended. That's right. That's why Miller's not on the bench. So I was going to take out one of our central midfielders for Miller, but now that's not really an option. I could take Cudahy out. He's got a 6.5 rating. That's no good. We could bring McKinley in for some extra firepower over Hendry. 7 penalty taking, though. We might want to leave him in. 6 penalty taking. He's got a 6.9 rating. He's looking calm, so I guess we'll leave him in there. Can he play any other position other than defensive forward? Not really. So let's go. Go with Breslin and see if that makes a difference. 14 shots, 5 on target. 54% possession. We're still winning the game pretty much. It's just a matter of, can we get that one goal, the golden goal? Let's go. Omolokan now has a yellow card. All right, here's Curry with a goal kick. 71 minutes. It's been a long time since the last highlight. Ball looks like it's going out of bounds, but Sanderson saves it, sends it forward. That was a terrible pass. Stewart intercepts. Hendry, oh, look at that, jumping over a tackle. Drops it back for Murtaugh. Forward to Montgomery, to Hendry, to Peters. He tries to take a wicked shot, but it deflects off the defense. Murtaugh has to chase it down. Sends it wide for Stewart. No good. And there ends the highlight. So as you can see, we're a little bit out of sync at the moment. Don't quite have that cohesion we had at the end of last season. And that's, you know, it's going to happen when you change out 2, 3, 5 starters with brand new players. You're gonna miss some of that cohesiveness. But anyway, 76 minutes. Is there anybody we want to bring in? We don't want to bring in McNiff. So what does Frankie Devine do? 23 years old. He's the center mid attack. I've already got Murtaugh doing that. Maybe that's not what we should be doing. Ball winner. We'll switch him back to ball winner. Support. Barry. Yeah, we'll leave him at center mid. Most generic of all positions. I think we will bring in McKinley. No. Hendry is playing really well now. He's up to 7.0 rating. He's our highest rated player. I mean, I could go with 3 strikers and switch it up completely on these guys. That would be crazy. That would be too much, I think. Too much. So what will we do? Murtaugh's at a 6.6. So I guess we will replace him with Devine and see if he makes a difference. All right. So we got 1 substitute left in case we really need it. Here we go. 79 minutes and counting. 80 going on. I probably shouldn't have taken out Murtaugh. What's his free kick? Or what's his penalty taking? 7. Yeah, I should have left him in there. What's Devine's penalty taking? 1. That was a bad substitution. Didn't think ahead. It's like a strategy game. You got to think ahead, and I did not do that. I did the opposite of that. All right, is there Connolly? 6 penalty taking. So, yeah, I think I screwed myself in the penalty area. 80 minutes. Come on, boys. We need a regular time goal here. 16 shots now. 5 on target. They are fouling the crap out of us. 22 fouls. Look at all those yellow cards they got. It'd be nice if they got a red to even things out a bit. Analysis. Is there anything going on there? Nope. I mean, we are controlling the middle of the field. There's no doubt about that. 89 minutes. Let's go control. See if that makes a difference. Uh-oh, here's highlight. Finlayson to Montgomery. Drops it to Barry. Barry looking forward. Can Hendry make the run? No, he cannot. Can he make a play, though? No, he cannot. So this could be a negative highlight. Boyle has it. He does not get it stolen on the left. Boyle down the sideline. He's got 2 men streaking for the goal. He sends it high and wide. Oh, Curry gets very lucky to make that save off the rebound. And here we are, 90 minutes. 91, 92. Just going to run out the clock, apparently. Extra time. Okay, that's what we needed, was extra time. I definitely don't want penalties. All right. Anxious to avenge what happened last time? Okay, that's good. I didn't know we needed to avenge ourselves versus the Rangers under 20s. But they must have knocked us out of last year's IRN-BRU Cup. So there we go. Let's start extra time. Going to be controlling the ball here. Get it forward. Nice pass. Breslin. Finlayson wasn't really paying attention there. Montgomery's a little tired. 6.7, so we could take him out, I suppose. Bring in Conley. There's no real difference. Oh, no, not Conley. Could bring in Danknovich. Yeah. Bring in Danknovich and see if he can make a play. You know, he was our top prospect at one time. Here's Devine with a corner. Sends it back to Danknovich. Can he make a play? No, he gets it stolen, but Peters is there. To Barry with the shot, and the deflection goes in. Look at that. It's counted as an own goal for Gary Core. But, you know, Barry took the shot. It kind of looked on target, but I guess not. Here we go. We'll try this again. Devine drops it back to Danknovich. Peters centers to Barry. He takes a shot. I mean, I don't know how you can call that an own goal. That seems a bit harsh on their central defender there. Is it central defender? No, he's fullback. Anyway, just about the end. We're going to win this 1-0 or what? Come on, boys. You can do it. No highlights. Here we go. Peters going forward. And he fouled Core. Yeah, Peters is going to get a red card. I mean, of all the guys to get a red, that's fine. No problem. The rest of our diamond is intact, so things should be fine. Here we go. Here's Devine with a free kick. Ooh, that was close. You know, it is a different feeling without Miller in there to take all these specialty plays, but I guess Devine. What's his idea? Why is he taking 7 corners, 7 free to kick? That's our best. I mean, Peters isn't in there now, but he's got 8 corners, 7 free kick. Danknovich. 7 corners, 1 free kicking. So, yeah, we again have problems with our specialty teams, which is why we need Miller. Even though he's technically a 2-star player. But anyway. Oh, that's halftime of extra time. That's no good. I thought there was only 1 time, but it's been so long since I played an extra time game. I guess I forgot. There are 2 halves to extra time. So let's keep them out of the goal, boys. Sweeney sends one forward. Everybody was offside there, and Curry's just going to let it go out. Smart man, don't need to be messing around with that. Have another snafu on the back line. Look at all the yellow cards. Basically, their entire midfield is all yellow carded up. Here's Danknovich. Can he get it forward? No, he gets fouled by Gallagher. Get a red card, son. Get out of here. Go smash some watermelons or something, Mr. Gallagher. Okay. Throw in. Boyle centers it to McGinn, but I think that was Breslin who boots it out of there. Just bashed it downfield. McLaughlin has it now. Yeah, it was a pretty bad pass, but Core is there on the near side. He sends it downfield. Martin looked offside, but Omolokin's going to track it down nonetheless. Send it forward to Cudahy. Going to restart the attack. Slow playing it here. Up to Danknovich. Danknovich forward to Hedry. Not good. That was a bad pass. But Hedry, look at that aggression. That work rate. He gets by one man. He centers it to Barry. Barry's going to take the shot. Easy goal. Barry with, I call it 2 goals, but he's only going to get credit for 1. Oh, and he shoots the arrow up into the hearts of the supporters on the back stands there. Not a classy act, but, we'll take it. Nice centering pass to Barry, who just goes right around the whole defense. Slots it past the goalkeeper. Nice and easy. Picks his shot. That's going to do it for us. So we're going to advance in the IRN-BRU Cup. Beating the Rangers under 20s. Obviously, they beat us at some point before, so we've taken revenge on them. And I think if we can beat the Rangers under 20s, we can beat a lot of teams at this level. Because most guys that we would bring in from that team, if we brought them in on loan or something like that, I think they would probably be starters for us. Obviously, they have some players in their under 20s who are just, garbage. But even those guys would probably be better than many of our reserves. So we can't be too judgmental. 1 minute left of stoppage time. We've demoralized them. No more highlights. The rain is coming down. Sweeney, his pass is deflected. Look at that. Hedry doesn't even bother going for it. And there it is. Full time. In extra time. Again, we played a lot of extra periods so far with all the shootouts we played in the Betfred Cup and now going extra time in the IRN-BRU Cup. These cup competitions are wearing us out. So people written you off. You proved them wrong. Well done. Good job. Pulling the upset in the IRN-BRU Cup. So that's going to get us a little bit of money from the IRN-BRU Cup. It's always good. Bully Wee cruise to historic 2-0 win after extra time. It's historic, huh? Why is that historic? Is that first time we've beat them or something? Hedry on fire, 1 assist, 8.6 rating, 4 key passes. We will praise his passing. Seems we hold different standards. You weren't happy with an 8.4 rating. If you can do even better, we'll wait and see. All right, see you later then. Airdrie boss Jim Weir was spotted. Weir was watching Neil McLaughlin. All right, 18-year-old center defender. Good job. Hope you pick him up. See you later. We're done with those boys. All right. So now we got, again, a pretty packed schedule at the beginning of the season. We'll take a look at our schedule real quick. Calendar, if we can. So we got the Rovers next, Annan, Berwick, Broth. A lot of games in the next couple of weeks, and then the schedule will ease up a little bit after that, hopefully. We scheduled a friendly with St. Mirren in there in our off week. But, I don't think we'll have an IRN-BRU game that week. Hopefully not. But anyway, we're going to be playing St. Mirren. That'll be a fun game. But, yeah, we'll come back with our quarter season review as we often do. And hopefully this season it'll be all greens. It'll be, probably... I'm hoping to start the season maybe 7 wins out of the first 9 games. That's what I'm hoping for in terms of league record. We don't play East Fife until a little bit later here, until our 7th game. So I think that we should, do pretty well. All right, I guess that's it. Is there anything else we want to look at in our competitions? Again, we'll take a look at the season preview. Cowden beats East Fife. Well, Annan is up there, predicted 4th. Broth, Albion. So it's not like we're playing the bottom of the league. but I still feel pretty confident that we can beat a lot of these teams that we're playing. So we'll come back for that, for the quarter season review. And until then, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
There's a team they call the Clyde, who will fill your heart with pride. Dressed up in the red and black, we a now sign on the back. They've a winger and a keeper and a great big carpet sweeper. It's the bully